Good afternoon and welcome to an afternoon of poetry. I am Carol Latham, the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Museum and Cultural Center in Anaheim. And it is our wish that you and your family and circle of concern are all well. The Museo is a cultural hub and it's a community hub with the mission to engage the community in exploring and celebrating our diverse heritage, culture, and the arts. And we do this through creative events, exhibits, and educational programs like this. We appreciate you taking the time to join us this Sunday afternoon. And I'm sure that as we go through the program, you may have questions. Be sure to add them in the chat and we will do our best to get them answered. This presentation is being recorded. For this afternoon's presentation, we have four fantastic poets. First, Mike Sonksen, AKA Mike the Poet, who was born in Long Beach, and he's a poet, as I said, professor, journalist, historian, tour guide, and his latest book, Letters to My City, was published by Writ Large Press. His poetry first has been featured on public radio stations, KCRW, KPCC, and KPFK, and TV stations like KCET and Spectrum News. Sonksen taught high school for 5 years and now teaches at Woodbury University. He loves bike rides with his wife and kids, and mentoring teen writers are his favorite activities. Matthew Cuban Hernandez, poet, MC, speaker, and performance coach for Jacksonville, Florida. He has toured as far as Abu Dhabi and nearly every major city in the United States and Europe, performing, teaching, and coaching poetry. A teaching artist for more than 10 years, Matthew has spent the last 6 years working in youth detention centers across Los Angeles County. Currently, he serves as the director of camp programming for Street Poets, Inc. In addition, he is the current lead teacher and co-founder of Spoken Literature Art Movement. Cuban has opened for artists such as Wang Chang, performed for platforms such as BuzzFeed and NPR, and even appeared on the award-winning television show, Better Things. Matthew is also a 3-time Southern Fried Poetry Slam champion and an award-winning poetry coach. Alejandro Perez Jr. is a native and a multidisciplinary art educator. He is a spoken word artist, diverse lounge MC, published poet, and he's a married father of 6, a life coach and mentor. He's also a martial arts instructor and with the Contra Mestre ranking in the discipline and has had that for 22 years. And Marcus Omari leads a team of dedicated artists to organize, host, perform, instruct various literary projects in Southern California. Among Omari's most honored achievements is the facilitation of on-demand poetry workshops for Orange County Halfway Housing for Women, providing after-school poetry programming for Orange County Group Home and foster youth, and writing workshops for homeless transition adults in Los Angeles. He's a critically acclaimed purveyor of verse and 6-time National Speech and Debate Award winner. Marcus Omari has been a featured poet on Lexus Presents Verses and Flow on TV1. He's a published author and has served as the co-editor for the Poetic manuscript, Speak Child. Omari is currently working on his 3rd, and he says it's his final book, but I'm not so sure about that one. And this August, panel of poets has been assembled by Natalie Elaine, a Southern girl living in Southern California by way of Texas. She's devoted to making an impact through sharing her love of poetry, art, yoga, and meditation to the world. She's committed to living a life of truth and discovery with her writing. She encourages everyone to tap into their gifts and not be afraid to use them. She's currently working on a book of poetry and affirmations and plans to open a yoga studio by 2021 that incorporates a literary experience for all levels to enjoy. One of her favorite poems, and a quote by Alice Walker, is that the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Natalie Elaine, who will lead the presentation. Natalie?
Hello, thank you, Ms. Carol. And I'd like to thank the Museo for allowing me this platform and the wonderful creatives on the panel today for collaborating and agreeing to be a part of this event. I'm grateful for Alejandro, for Mike, for Marcus, Matthew. I'm hoping he joins, but if not, we're gonna just keep it rolling. And for the sake of time, we're just gonna move right into it. I know that this panel is primarily all men, so that's why I eloquently named it Divine Masculinity, only for that purpose. But I'm gonna start out with a piece that I wrote to kind of put us in that direction. And then we'll start out Mike, Marcus, then Alejandro, and then if Matthew joins us, we'll just move into that. It's feel it in your vibe, your spirit, your energy, let it move you, and I'll get this going. Vanilla scented flame illuminates embracing silhouettes, blurred edges, caressed by wisps of incense, dancing on the evening breeze, carrying the heavy bouquet of night blossoms beyond billowing curtains. Closed eyes perceive proximity, angular face tilted by gentle hands, soft pout surrendered, and devastated by demand. Drinking hunger and desire, wrapped up in your melodies, kissing you when I'm drunk, licking the liquor from your lips, saturating senses until intoxicated to a burning thirst, listening to music in my heels, barriers stripped in haste as bodies finally collide, fingers following pulsing cues, flesh yields and bones bend, marveling at the contrasting tones of copper and caramel skin, melting together in heat, gasps and moans trapped by devouring lips, a frame arched in submission, rippling beneath, searching touch, milky throat bare to a growl, teeth nipping memories as hips lock too perfectly. And I finally cradle the sweet burden of your weight on top of me. You are my sweet serenity of divine masculinity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So as we move into this moment, in this space of the divine masculine creatives that we have on the panel today, we'll go ahead and move in with Mike.
Thank you for having me. I love that poem, Natalie, and here's to divine masculinity. And when I think about that, I really think about my family and My kids might be moving in and out of this as we go along here. So
That's fine.
that's how we do it. This first poem is in homage to a muralist named Judy Baca, who painted a 10,000 year history of Los Angeles called the Great Wall of Los Angeles. And it's a 2,800 foot long mural. Up until recently, it was the longest mural in the world. Judy Baca paints to interrogate. Whose monument where? Whose story do we tell? Baca paints public history, inventory in the inner city. The Chumash animal spirits escaped the La Brea tar pits, canoeing to the Channel Islands with a school of blue dolphins. California was Turtle Island before Gente de Razon colonized. Long before Cabrillo and Portola, grizzlies roamed the flora of marshlands of willow thickets, the legend of Khalifa. Junipero Serra envisioned 21 Spanish missions, 44 pobladores built the Pueblo. The Great Wall of Los Angeles travels chronologically, recording social memory, the technicolor trajectory of the city beneath. Spanish land grants in Pio Pico, California ranchos, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, the California Gold Rush, Sutter's Mill to San Francisco, Joaquin Murrieta, the original Zorro. Chinese built the railroad only to be massacred in 1871, the largest mass lynching in American history. The rise of California citrus. See the selective traditions. Collisions at the crossroads. Unsigned Indian treaties. The boom of the 1880s. LA mountains to the shore. Women in the war riding the red car. The California aqueduct draining the Owens Valley. Children working in factories. Striking workers. The market crash. Prohibition. You better speak easy or the cops will come. People's history profiles women and people of color, celebrating civic identity, honoring ancestors. David Alfaro Siqueiros, Alvera Street in America Tropical. Facadism and a whitewashed adobe. City fathers whitewashed your mural, but they can't whitewash history. Polyangular perspective, a hazardous metropolis, environmental justice. Boyle Heights to Manzanar, the 442nd Battalion, the Go for Broke unit. Brooklyn Avenue was Jewish. The Red Scare, McCarthyism, the vision of the barrios, concretizing an ancient river, forebearers of civil rights, destruction of Chavez Ravine, popular culture in the age of white flight, farewell to Rosie the Riveter, goodbye to Dust Bowl refugees, the Great Train robbery, illusions of prosperity. Baca paints what City Hall forgot. Luisa Moreno in the Braceto program, Dr. Charles Drew's influence, David Gonzalez of Pacoima, the federal highway system, the birth of rock and roll stole soul from Big Mama Thornton, an age of appropriation, erasure and assimilation, our shared human condition, a choreographed dance, singing gospel from the streets. We fight fascism at home and abroad. Who we can be in solidarity, honoring stories, uprising of the mujeres, mi abuelita, mural making a social practice, organizing a ofrenda, collaborate first, then paint. Calling all couch potatoes, sing the song of suburbia, somewhere in San Fernando, turn on your television set, turn up in your tract house, take up the sword of justice, be on the lookout for monarch butterflies. A new era of art and expansion, end housing segregation, right the wrongs of repatriation. Okay, boomer, come along Coldwater Canyon. The battle for Los Angeles, reconciling historic narratives. Whose story do we tell? Whose monument where? Thank you so much. By the way, if you're ever in North Hollywood, go along Coldwater Canyon, check out Judy Baca's The Great Wall of Los Angeles. She painted it over 7 summers with like 300 youth, and she paid them all. She got grants through the Department of Cultural Affairs. I think the California Humanities Council was also part of her master's thesis, but it's a people's history of Los Angeles. And she did this in the late 70s, early 80s, long before, you know, the people's history and the idea of history from the ground up was really happening. So Baca's murals are a major influence on mine. So I take my classes there all the time. So here's a poem that's for my students. It's called Traces, Places, Faces. Traces, places, faces, connecting spaces, cultural, historical, personal, 3 realms of interpretation, channels for communication, a way to Rainy Mountain. We slow down the conversation, writing morning pages, positions of contemplation, bridging liminal spaces, interdisciplinary relations, intersecting history and biography, tracing the lineage through journeys, nature's conflicts, LA stories. Print, sound, and light, fight the good fight. My students and I write about Personal artifacts like the ring gifted to them by their grandfather after the Armenian genocide. We put the heart in liberal arts. Traces. Uncovering a series of marks, an outline, a passage, a record of physical indication of something that vanished, an etching, a great turning of pages. Take time to see the traces, observations in an essay, a litany of lyrics, critical cartography, public history, cultural geography, ecofeminism, and deep ecology. My students and I took a walk along the concrete river talking about man versus nature. Places. I met my wife in a piano bar downstairs from the hip hop room, a circle of friends singing on the dance floor. Every day is your birthday. Social locations, navigation, a locale, locus, location, a station, a designated area of meaningful activity. A center of memory, a region, a facility, a landmark, a natural site, a waterfall, an architectural marvel connected to experience, an open mic, a Socratic dialogue, two feral cats in my backyard, faces. Back in the 1980s, I was picking mint leaves with my grandmother in Long Beach. People are a beacon, family, women and men in the city, friends, colleagues, associates, long lost cohorts from childhood, aces of the neighborhood, uniting heart and mind. Together, spending time. Let's bring it back to the work that reconnects, building community, draw your history, a reframing, intergenerational exchanging, historiography, sharing authority, autoethnography. It comes back to you and me, sharing space, traces, places, faces. All right. I'm going to do one more here now, and I'm going to ask a little word from the crowd. You want to hear one called 92 Degrees about the year of 1992, or do you want to hear an ode to LA women writers?
An ode to LA women writers.
Okay.
I knew to be.
That was going to be mine too.
Right.
Mine too. Mine too.
So I've been doing this whole history project of like the history of LA poetry. And I have about 5 different poems that have all kinds of, and it's one of these things that keeps getting longer and longer and longer. This poem is like an 800-word poem, but I'm gonna do about 2/3 of it. It's a little, but every time I thought I was done, I would find out another great writer that I love. And so there's literally about 100 women named, 100 amazing women poets in this poem. So there's a lot to it, but here we go. Let it be known that this place is LA. Here the women attain supreme enlightenment. Here the women turn the Dharma wheel. Here the women make the city heal. For over a century, LA women writers have made the city lighter. Our pacifist freedom fighters evoke awakening, patience, generosity, mercy, and compassion like only a woman can. Forget the natural disasters. LA women writers are the masters of this ecology, the authorities of civic psychology, forecasting the future of LA reality. Though a fantasy Spanish heritage was concocted by Helen Hunt Jackson's Ramona, oppositional intellectual women writers have set the LA story right, one narrative at a time. Leimert Park to Boyle Heights, a little Tokyo cafe on Tuesday night, Tracy Kato Kiriyama, Marjorie Light, TK Lee, Naomi Hirahara, Irene Soriano, Amy Umatsu, Karen Te Yamashita, Karen Ishizawa, Publishing in Ghidra. LA women writers at Avenue 50 in the Women's Center for Creative Work, exchange culture at Kaleidoscope Collective, propose manuscript at Women Who Submit, sharpen their focus with La Luna Locus, fight gentrification with Ovarian Psychos, pioneers of community-based public history, redefine the city space with the power of place, map unsolved mysteries with the Studio of Southern California History. LA women writers sleep with the dictionary like Harriet Mullen. LA women writers write themselves into the story like Octavia Butler. The Parable of the Sower, restructuring architecture of the void like Esther McCoy, travel from Hollywood to Watts with Wanda Coleman. More than the unofficial poet laureate, beyond Bukowski's sister, there was no one more honest. Check her American sonnets. Jane Cortez pioneered the Black arts movement. She grew up in Watts and attended Compton College. Now Compton native poet laureate Robin Cost Lewis carries Cortez's knowledge in A Voyage of the Sable Venus. LA women writers represent East Los Angeles with postmodern prose like Helena Maria Viramontes. The movement is upon us. Behold our divine healers of the word, regenerating LA's spiritual well with poems, plays, short stories, novels. LA women writers have created a story of their own, rooted in prose and poems. Let it be known. Let it be known that this place is LA. Here the women attain supreme enlightenment. Here the women turn the Dharma wheel. Here the women make the city heal. LA women writers dream a literary life like Carolyn C. Dana Johnson connects Inglewood to Moreno Valley. Redefine LA noir with Nina Revoir. Take a drive to Crenshaw 54th with Pam Ward. Head to North Long Beach with Liz Gonzalez. See Poetry's Heart with S. Pearl Sharp. Watch Michelle Clinton decipher good sense from the faithless. Attend a poetry festival started by Suzanne Lummis. Get schooled on topics by Jen Hoffer. Or rock bilingual poetry workshops with Gloria Alvarez. Start movements over and over again like Terry Wolverton. There was no glass ceiling at the Women's Building, only a city of feeling with the Lois Klein Healy. Laurel Ann Bogan sings Psychosis in the Produce Department. Take a drive with Juniper Song and Steph Cha. Let it be known that this place is LA, where Michelle Serros inspired a generation of Chicanas. Reunite with the elders via Ophelia Esparza. Ride the rails with Maricela Norte. Roll with Linnell George from Evergreen to Culver City. Hike all the way up with Teresa Maychuk. Get your roots and wings with Jesse Bliss. Let Lisa C. transport you on Gold Mountain. Joan Didion to Aaron Aubrey Kaplan. Patty Morrison to Denise Hamilton. Elena Karina Byrne to Carolina Miranda. Wendy Ortiz to Kate Braverman. Central Avenue Neon with Natasha Dion. Conscious Chain Reactions with Ashaki Jackson. Explore the Cosmos with Rocio Carlos. Visit Southeast LA County with Vicky Vertiz. Manifest Magic Unplanned with Iris DeAnda. Keep the Word Soaring with Gina Loring. Let it be known that this place is LA with women writers in every genre. Jamie Fitzgerald, Miriam Gerba, Phoebe Ozuna, Desiree Zamorano, Zoe Ruiz, Tika Lark, Janice Lee, Gail Ronsky, Ellen Mabey, Nikel Davis, Rebecca Gonzalez, Kat McGill, Tamara Blue, Nikki Black, Amelie Frank, Cheryl Klein, Amina Kane, Susan Strait, Melissa Chadburn, Susan Hayden, Alexis Roan Fancher, Sarah Borjas, Marcia De La O. Do you know Sandra Singh Lowe, Louis Vette Resto? Behold younger writers like Monique Mitchell, Amanda Gorman, Rosalinda Flores, Camila Comey, Mila Kuda, Blasia Parker, Stephanie Escobar. LA women writers are only getting started. I see her hair is burning. The hills are filled with fire. If you said she never loved you, it's you that is the liar. Let it be known that this place is LA. Here the women attain supreme enlightenment. Here the women turn the Dharma wheel, and here the women make the city heal. And a list poem is trouble because it can never be complete. It can never be. And for any names you don't see, any names that you don't hear, shout them out. Write your own poem. Let it be known. Let it be known that this place is LA. Here the women turn the Dharma wheel. Here the women make the city heal. Let it be known that this place is LA. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I always tell people, if I missed anybody, hey, write about these women writers. They can never get enough love. So thank you
Natalie
so much.
Elaine.
Natalie Elaine, I'm going to put you in. Yeah, you're in.
Right.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you.
Thank
God
you,
bless.
Mike. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Lots of knowledge and names I was clearly not aware of, as I am from Texas, and I have definitely got to dive into the poetry world here in LA for sure, and connect and meet with people. And with that being said, I have graciously had the opportunity to meet Mr. Marcus Omari. Are you okay? Marcus, are you okay?
You need to
Sorry.
unmute
I have
yourself,
a brand new-
Marcus.
I have a brand new laptop. I touched the button and things just all of a sudden I couldn't hear nothing. Shout out.
Oh, no.
Stuff is complicated.
Oh, I was just saying how gracious I am to thank you for allowing me to connect with some poets here. And without further ado, it is your time, your moment, your space.
Let me reciprocate that and spin that back around. Here's again, mic check. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I'm less than 48 hours in with this new laptop and just put Zoom on here. And with this touch bar on this Mac, I'm touching and it's going one way and I'm hearing it out of a Bluetooth in my bathroom. I'm all over the place here. And these
Well,
things.
isn't technology wonderful?
It is.
Especially when it works.
let me begin with some thanks. First of all, to the Museo, of course, down here in Orange County, putting on some amazing programming via Carol. Thank you so much. A recent acquaintance, but an important and powerful one. And Natalie, thank you so much for bringing your energy, your love, and your enthusiasm for the word and the community from Texas to California, and really digging in and putting in the work right away. So, I mean, you're in the community quick, and we embrace you and appreciate everything that you've done thus far.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like I'm at church right now, giving thanks to Mike the homie. Again, it makes the readings so much easier, and everyone can contribute to this when you see those familiar faces that just make you comfortable. And Mike just has one of those personalities and characters that just make you feel comfortable in any environment. So to be in a space with you, I appreciate that. To Matthew, whenever he pops up, a longtime contributor and phenom in the community. So I look forward to hearing him. Alejandro, bro, you threw off the Marcus, Mike, Matthew, M thing going on right there. I was like, and Alejandro. But listen, bro, I'm so looking forward to hearing your work, because again, the cosign from Natalie means so much because of what she's done in the community. So to everyone who shared and is going to share, I thank you so much. Masculinity. I usually don't do a lot of intros to poems or writings or anything like this, but I felt it was important to get this 2 minutes out, because this was a difficult one, especially with the times that we're in. I see divine masculinity, and I got, what up, Matthew? I see divine masculinity, and I got tense. I was like, if you go about this the wrong way, you're gonna, you get toxic, you get too much here, you get too much there. Should I even, what about should we just take masculine off and just do the whole poetry thing? But I think the acute attention to that word masculine is a testimony to how far we've gone in terms of recognizing what it is to be or claim to be a man, what the different genders are, what masculine and feminine is, that there's a more acute attention to how it's not one category or one label than the other, but as I've kind of read and learned, more of a circle and secular, like I'm not too much into it, but that kind of yin and yang balance to it all. The masculine and the feminine is more about balance than it is about categories of people or characteristics about who you are. In wrapping this up, being deep into my written word of Bell Hooks, there was something that I had read from her that really spoke to how we really couldn't speak about, in order to speak more about love as Black people, we need to deviate from the violent and the aggressive and more towards life. And that to me spoke volumes, because I think that masculine really is speaking life into things, whether you're talking about love, security, that whatever that balance is, if you're not speaking life into whatever it is that you're doing, then you are missing what it is to be a divine feminine or divine masculine. So I think it really all comes down to that. Now to the poetry. Get that out. 3 pieces, I'm a shotgun it through, because that's how I like doing 3 pieces back to back, and we'll be out. The 3 that I've chosen have to do with love and life towards a community, towards another person, and towards self. You see me looking over because I'm like, do I have water? Give me a second. There we go.
I'd like to add that Marcus was the one who had the most questions as it related to the actual title of the event. And I didn't think anyone would have that many questions, but he did, because I merely titled it that for the sake of the idea that the panel was all male. No other reason than that. But because of his forward thinking and who he is, and just what he just stated just then, it made me even think even more outside of the box of that term in itself. So thank you. Thank you for that additional context and allowing me to take it further to even think about that in the nature of where we are today, when you are thinking of masculinity and femininity and all of the different titles and things that are going on around us. So thank you for that. That's that educator in you.
We're going to get to this poetry, but let's go ahead and wrap up this sermon real quick, because I'm going to pass off that knowledge to the struggles that I've had to grow through, and the blessings of doing more teaching in classrooms that incorporate transgender students.
Right.
I've had to learn a lot about labels, about pronouns, about how you speak, how you acknowledge. So now you're right. When someone says masculine, I go, okay, wait, okay, how's it being done by blah? So that knowledge and growth that I was allowed to go through is why I appreciate a session like this to share poetry and really speak to life. So just kind of jumping right into the poem, Reigning at the Altar. What's your name, little girl? Childhood came when the altar called, all by yourself on Easter Sunday. Dressed to the nines in turquoise and lace, eggshell leather church sandals with the one side buckled. Nun white hosiery, almost run free, covering Saturday skin knees all the way down to Saturday night's misadventure was Mama's Calvary red toenail polish. Was you skinning at me, got me grinning at you. Black Jesus' generic baby sister, beret half dangling from unraveling braid, washing the foot of my face in the sentiment of your smile. Come and took up my hand in prayer like you needed it, like you knew the drill, like your father lost your mother, just losing somebody done brought you here, huh? Deacons say, bring your sins to the altar, and you met me at the point of destruction, the foundation of a reign and a worship. Wade once more into the swell of song, old tight to alleluias as the spirit breaks across the eroding shores of our backs once more unto the breach, dear child. The kiss of Katrina still tattered against our necks, her scarlet lips marking us for battle and bereavement. A chorus of white-gloved Magdalenas, Kleenex and MLK fan heavy, stand ready to infiltrate our infirmed faith, flush away memories of waterlogged memories with an epitaph of, what's your name, little girl? Can you spell out our purpose in broken cattail reeds and swamp willows? Tell me God is good all the time. And all the time, wonder about them buses. Are they coming? Do they know that we're down here? Can they see the white sheets waving in the wind, surrendering all will to remain on rooftops? Will it ever stop? Will it ever stop? Will it ever stop? Or is God the rain? Or is God the rain? All we ever wanted was some water. All we ever needed was some ice water, a sandwich, soft sunshine, and someone to remove the bodies bloated with blessings, stirring the indentured distaste to fly over promises and public policy. It's April, it's May, it's June, and I still ain't got no job. No flood insured pot to piss in. No clue as to when my trailer coming, where I'm going. Oh, what's your name, little girl? Child who came when the altar called, all by yourself on Easter Sunday. That's that one. And that one goes out to, of course, my family that was going through a lot in Mississippi, in the southern states, in Texas, of course, with the different storms. That was a progressive poem that started with one acknowledgement that turned into another. So to all the people who had family or themselves went through that particular incident. Moving to Fatigue de la Femme, to a relationship that is gone, and what it is to process that feeling. Short one. Waited months to cut the anger from my diet for fear I would starve at the thought of you. It was unhealthy. I was unsure how long I could last on a fast of love alone. Sometimes my heart gets so hungry. That's it. So let me do something really quick on that one, right? And all the poets can relate to this. No matter how many poems that you step on stage and float through and everyone, rah, you'll have that one poem that you go, but that other poem, that's really my heart, that you never really share. I think this is the first time I've ever read that poem out loud. And the reason why it means so much to me, not only because of the heartbreak and the process that you go through to write something like that, it was actually 3 different haikus that came together as one piece. And when I saw it, I was just proud of myself that I could process that. And again, to all the other poems and accolades, it's an amazing thing. But we all have that one poem that means so much to us that we process through divine masculine. Last poem. Last poem for self. It's called Mindful. Mindful, aware, open to endless inward possibilities. Horizon focused till our retina ruptures, till clouds circling our heads float across our pupils. And we learn today what it means to settle into the eyes of our storm, to dance at the center of our soul's journey, mindful, aware, open to restoration disguised as an unclenched fist. When we are done fighting ourselves, when we realize the dust we've been holding on to is the only thing holding us back, the particles of regret gathered with tears mold mounds that form mountains we spend our lifetimes trying to get over. There is a mountain in your hand and much more. Mindful, aware, open to fulfillment, vis-a-vis the unknown, embracing of uncertainty, caressing the calamity, tongue-kissing catastrophe, all sloppy and clumsy like your first kiss behind the bleachers sophomore year, a post-prom dream come true, like you knew what the summer of broken yearbook promises would bring, and still we kiss her, still. It is time to schedule forgiveness on our calendars. Mark boldly our anniversary of guilt sobriety, elevate our vision of clarity, bend and lean into a posture of peace, align our breath with our beliefs, and hold that pose, and hold that pose, and hold it, and hold it, and hold it. That's it. Thank you so much, again, for the opportunity, for the sharing, for the faces I see on the screen. You all mean so much to me. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Marcus. I really appreciate you for participating and being part of this. And moving into that last poem, as you said, mindful. Mindfulness is so important. It's so imperative, and it's something that we should definitely be teaching our children to be mindful. I try to promote that in my yoga teachings and just in general. I had to learn to be mindful that my thoughts and feelings are not other person's thoughts and other people's thoughts and feelings. Like you have to be mindful of everything around you in this day and age, for sure, for sure, for sure. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. And we're going to move on to Alejandro.
Natalie, may I just make a quick comment, because there was a statement that you made, Marcus, that says schedule forgiveness on your calendar.
Calendar. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
That struck a nerve for me too.
Whoa. And that dust holding in your hand. So thank you.
And moving into our next poet, Alejandro, we go way back, kindergarten, I do believe that it is. 5 years old. So again, I am grateful to have him here again with me. He did my first series, and now he's here with me on part 3. So I am grateful. So give us what you got.
You need to unmute yourself, Alejandro.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, I would like to invite everyone to unmute themselves. Everyone, unmute yourselves. I didn't know I wasn't unmuted because I can hear myself in my microphone. I forgot I was muted on the screen. Everybody unmute yourself real quick. I want to do something in honor of my father who passed away maybe like 8 years ago now. In honor of the divine masculine, he is the seed of the masculinity from which I draw the air and the breath and the energy from my father's side. And then I have a great grandfather from my great grandmother's side who brought some energy from the field side. But I want to honor it by using 5 fingers. And I'm gonna first honor my mother's side, and then I'm gonna honor my father's side, and la lengua que mi papá usando el pasado. So I'm gonna use Spanish and English to evoke and start and engage, if that's all right. Please repeat after me. Put your 5 fingers high up in the sky, and then after you do that, let me see your thumb. Let me hear you say, my voice
My voice
Voice.
has power
has
power
to speak
to speak
my truth
my truth
and share
and share
and share
my light.
My life.
my life.
Se dice con otra mano en español, mi voz
Mi voz
tiene poder
tiene poder
para hablar
para hablar
Hablar
y verdad
y
y
verdad
verdad
y compartir
y
y
compartir
compartir
mi luz.
mi
mi
luz.
luz.
Let's shake out both hands like this. I'm gonna go from right to left. Activate the right and the left brain. Everybody say my voice.
My voice,
Mi voz
mi voz
has power.
has
Power
Tiene poder
tiene poder
to speak
to speak
para hablar
para hablar
my truth,
my truth,
mi verdad
mi verdad
and share
and share
y compartir
y
y
compartir
my light,
my
my
life.
mi luz,
Mi
mi
luz.
luz,
light,
Light.
light,
luz,
luz,
light,
light,
luz,
Luz.
Luz.
light,
Light.
luz,
Light.
light,
Light.
luz,
Luz.
light,
Light.
luz.
Luz. Right.
We gonna keep it light and loose, y'all. With that being said, I just wanted to kind of give us a mindful moment, engage in the divine masculine, since that is the evocation that we have called upon today. I'm gonna start off with a piece. It's called The 5 Pillars. When you hear the title, you might think you know what it's about. After evaluating this piece and performing it, I've actually restructured it. I used to give the medicine before I talked about the infection and the cause. So now I'm going to give you the infection, the cause, and then the medicine, if that makes any sense. It was routed one way, and then I realized it sounds really nice if I do it this way. So with that being said, I'm going to literally construct a track while you're listening. I'm working with a 505 looper. Let me see if I can show this to you without deconstructing my workspace. This is a 505 looper, my workstation. So you know what I'm working on. So keep you involved in the process. If you can hear me, say yeah. Is my mic sound? Is it too loud? Is it abrasive? Is it balanced?
It sounds pretty balanced to me.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, I think it's pretty.
We're gonna find out in a minute once I turn this volume up a little bit. So, and I mean, when I turn it up, you're gonna have multiple channels in your ear. We're gonna see if you can still stand it and it does not interfere with the presentation. So here we go.
We can't hear.
You couldn't hear it? Okay, let's try it
We
again.
couldn't hear it then. It's going in and out.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Do I need to turn it up or do I need to turn it down?
I think you're pretty good.
I'm gonna
Right
test
there.
the vocals before I be doing it now, because you know, last time I was like, I just went. I didn't even do any testing. I just started rolling.
No testing, no.
All right.
Alejandro, so this is one of those things where like it's only gonna start. We'll hear it if your mic goes active, but like right now nobody can hear it because I'm talking.
Cool.
Yeah.
So guess what? Somebody trying to call me right now. That's crazy. I don't like when my children call me in the middle of stuff. All right, here we go. Check it out. Well, this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna ask everybody to mute your channels, and I'm gonna lay down these tracks on top of tracks so you can hear where we're going from here. Here we go. Need love, peace, try. That's just me testing my vocals. Here we go. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. 1 2 1 2. Here we go. Implementation of information facilitations got me thoroughly analyzing my education while dealing with contagiation and proper immunization. I'm able to come to this conscious realization through everyday life situations. My emancipation be the fall of the righteous vibrations. Normal revelations become miracles after purification. Peep this observation. I watched the mutation of mind manipulation through the process of integration without the revitalization of detrimental information. The alteration calls concentrated meditation, then shortly after followed the stagnation and memorization. Knowledge grounded in mind is the foundation to begin to build the nation purified for creation. From the light of righteous proclamations, documentations of litigations become contrary information. When it comes to our focus station, libation happens before the ceremony begins. I bear witness to the libated ink from the pen, y'all. Come again, because we need love, peace, tribe, hey, hey. We need love, peace, tribe, yeah. Evolving acts from cigarette packs to selling crack. Flip the script, now unconscious acts are proven fact. Now when a person commits unconscious genocide, that means that individual is called some type of mental parasite. Mental parasites are plantations of subliminal information planted through television stations. The billboards used for marketed information. How does one revitalize righteous makings while hurting hearts are patiently waiting for the next move they should be making? First of all, we must stop the faking and playing like we have an okay situation, because unconscious acts occur when there's no accountable emanation of deviation. In other words, point the finger at self, revitalize, help, realize self-improvement is the pants with the belt. How else we gonna hold up if we can't hold our own? Remember, consciousness is the acknowledgement of the Most High in our dome, and we gonna keep it on, and we gonna make it right, not wrong. We got to keep that spirit strong and keep it growing on. And drop them 5 pillars inside the dome. Come on, we need love, peace, tribe, heart. Hey, hey, we need love, peace, tribe, heart. Hey, we need love, peace, tribe, heart. Hey, we need love, peace, everyone in this room has a need. Nourishing energy every day makes us complete. But it starts with getting enough sleep and watching what you eat and watching how you drink, you feel me? And everyone in this world needs love. Letting our voices engage in real conversation builds us up and invites us to a place of self-determination, defining self for self. Now that's true revelation. And everyone in this room needs peace, positive energy, activating community efforts. And this becomes effortless when we're at our best, but we have to feel safe before this happens. And everyone in this room needs art, activating real truth. Now that's the spark, an invitation to a ritualized transformation. But remember, all this begins with a conversation. So feel the need and feel the love and feel the peace and find your tribe and discover art. But make sure you do all of this with heart, because we need love, peace, tribe, art. Tribe to reconnect in beauty. Come on, we need love, peace, tribe, art. When you with your tribe, you don't have to put on face, y'all. We need love, peace, tribe, art. And when you wrong, they gonna put you in your place. Come on, we need love, peace, tribe, art. Hey, la 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 la. La 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 la.
La, 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 la,
How'd that feel?
It felt great. Felt
Felt
good.
great.
Felt good. Good job.
That's good. That's good. Now I'm gonna give y'all a choice. I'm gonna do one more piece. I'm
Okay.
gonna give y'all a choice to hear what you want to hear. And your choices are, you could either hear let me pull this up, make sure I don't say the wrong title. You can hear oh my god, I just edited it. Now I don't know where it is. Oh my gosh, what did I do with it? Hold on, give me a second. Restless. You can hear the piece called Restless, or you can hear a piece. Why is my daughter calling me so much right now? Okay. You can hear the piece Restless, or you can hear a piece called Shine Your Light. Restless or Shine Your Light?
Shine your light.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Melanie on that. Let's shine our light.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to get away from that gate. Just come save me from my grandbaby. My grandbaby over here trying to climb over. It's about to be all kind of havoc going on in a minute. All right, here we go. I'm gonna have to put my phone on airplane mode because my child keeps calling. Could you call Mary Donna and tell her quit calling me, please? And thank you. She called me like 5 times. I had to disconnect her from this particular device. I like to use this cell phone and plug it into my 505 looper from time to time, and gives me opportunity to engage with music. I sampled one of my favorite producers. I don't know if y'all familiar with Jay Dilla, RIP, Divine Masculine Energy. I'm showing some love and honoring him in this moment. And this is me kind of like giving you like a quick bio of my life in like 4 verses. And it's gonna be like a 4-minute piece, kind of giving you that insight. And I call it Let There Be Light, or Let Your Light Shine. I wrestle with the name, but the hook is Let There Be, L-I-G-H-T. With that being said, here we go. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let there be L-I-G-H-T so we can see. Let there be L-I-G-H-T. Let there be L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T. It's time to get up, get down, get more than I had. Hold up, wait a minute, I'm blessed on my pad. But that doesn't excuse the mistakes I made, cause I'm a better man for my mistakes today. I extract the lesson, become the blessing. The stories I'm telling, release the stress and reciprocity, give and receive. I'm not alone, there's power you see in your experience in life's escapades. If life's give you lemon, then make lemonade. This is my story, here comes a new page. Time to open up in the face and engage. Come on, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T. Once upon a time, I was 5 years old, entertaining angels, surrounding old souls. I grew up in the church, the Black Baptist way. The elders always had something to say. I tried to listen, hear and obey, but curiosity always got in the way. I never really needed to be in the streets, but my aunts, uncles, and cousins all around me, attacked by drug, sex, and addiction. Dad's not around, no one would listen unless I truly had something to say. I'm caught up, what more can I say? Come on, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T. Now I'm working the blocks and robberies. I'm slanging them dubs high as can be. I'm copying every fad I see until I found that pen and poetry. Now I'm rocking the spots and passing the mics. Out of the trouble, start seeing the light. Damn, I got a brand new baby. Now responsibility is calling me to actions of do it right. But my ego still wants the spotlight. So much healing left for me. Examining H-E-A-R-T. I guess I use this pen and poetry to cleanse my soul and guide my feet. Cleanse my soul and guide my feet. Let there be light so we can see. Come on. Let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T. Now I'm an artist, educator, husband, father, friend, decisions. Where must I begin? Loving my wife, spending time with my kids, present, accountable, handling biz, creativity, leading the way, not sure what's next, step out on faith. Aligning myself with people who care, designing my life and community fairs, being the change that I want to see, using power of voice, healing community. Start with my problems, begin to decay. Pick up paper and pen, you got something to say. Your experience in life is your personal truth. Liberate your heart, share what you've been through. Honesty, integrity, develop grit. Find out you're not alone simply by digging in. Come on, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, let there be. L-I-G-H-T, so we can see, let there be. L-I-G-H-T. Sometimes it's hard to find the light we're looking for when we're looking outside ourselves, because sometimes the answers we need have always been inside our H-E-A-R to the T. And when you find your way out of your mind, back to your heart, and build the bridge to discover your spark, you can shine your light so bright, and it's gonna be all right. Let there be L-I-G-H-T, so we can see. Let there be L-I-G-H-T. That's my time, y'all. Thank y'all for y'all ears, y'all energy. I really appreciate y'all let me share like I'm sharing today.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That was fun.
And with that energy, we're going to move into Matthew Cuban Hernandez. You're on mute, Matthew.
What's up, everybody?
Okay. What's up? What's up?
How is the squad? How are y'all?
We're good. I'm good.
Should we talk about life? Should we exchange conversational ideas, or should I just start doing poems?
You give it to us how you want to give it to us.
Well,
how you want to go.
It's been a wild day, and I apologize first and foremost for my tardiness. The world decided to say you don't have power for an hour. And,
you made it though. You made it.
You made it.
It was like, here you go. Here's the day. Here's some obstacles. Get yourself stretched out and limbered. Well, we here.
And
that's what really matters.
Right.
I'm so honored to be amongst this incredible company. So many dope artists, and my apologies for missing earlier work, but my goodness, this is so dope. And when I was asked to be a part of this, I was just like really, really honored, because it's not every day you get to do some stuff like this. And I'm always really excited to share whatever crazy thoughts come into my mind in the form of poetry or art, stuff like that. But thank y'all for kicking it. Thank y'all for kicking it today. I'm gonna share maybe just a handful of poems, and we can go into it. But it's so dope to be able to come in and talk about the divine masculinity, though, men are issues. We are. Bless our hearts. We're powerful creatures, but we are creatures. And it's beautiful to be able to represent us on a good note, because it's not always good representation of us out there. Because we work hard at being terrible creatures. But shouts out to us. We out here. I still believe, and I think in the last performance I did that was with like the Santa Ana community, I was like, we should just put all the men into stables and just take them out when we're needed. You know what I'm saying? Give me an Xbox and some Wi-Fi. Just take me out when I'm needed. Let the rest of the world be run by people with saner minds. If you disagree, check out history. Very informative on what men have done. Okay, here we go. But this isn't the bash, man. This is to talk about our greatness. And I think that there is good stuff to us. I've been creating a collection of poems pretty much throughout this entire quarantine, with a group of poets. Every Tuesday we meet from like 4 to 6 and we write. It's poetry, meditation, and writing circles. And so I have a collection of poems that I want to share. And this kind of goes together. And the title is, Hey, what's up with all them words in your head? I'm still working on the title, but that's pretty much what I got right now for it. So here we go. Someone said jump, and I learned to fly. Someone said stop, and I built a bunker to collapse myself into. I once listened to someone, once ran for someone's opinion before I tore mine out of a book I was writing instead of reading. Someone told me to love myself once, told me that I should build myself into a garden. And at that moment, anything anyone told me became a protest, a chance for my voice, my opinion or option or onion unraveling itself to tears. Someone once said, love life, live love. And everything I hoped for became drywall, became a swimming pool of grief and moments I said no when I should have said evolve. I should have said, okay, I'm here. I'm on my way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll live with this for the rest of my life. If you ever, someone said devil emoji. Someone said I'm failing, I'm falling, and this time you can do nothing but watch. And on the shoreline of eternity, I once heard a poem start like that, or was it on the shoreline of my indiscretions? I'm not sure, though. Something sure is powerful about the shore. I heard she sells seashells by the shore. I once thought Polly Shore was hilarious in the 90s where everything was problematic and okay. Sure, you're right. Sure feels like the word stop, feels like the word end, like of the line or life. I've stood at the edges of a few oceans, on coasts around the world, thinking about times I stood at the edge of my own life, maybe one day staring across in a circle of mindful moments, imagining the ones I'll live 30 years from now? I guess the ocean makes you think. I guess the shore feels like a ticket booth to dreaming, a concession stand for the imagination. You can get lost in the wave, hypnotized by the harmony of rolling thunder. You can almost ponder how any chaos can happen on a land that ends here. Rest and let the sun and salt and air whisper centuries of lullabies. Let all that we don't know be a memory to retell, a legacy to write and rewrite and set adrift on the shoreline of all indiscretions, a shoreline of every eternity, a time looping itself consistently asking, what do you truly want in this whole wide world? Because action is more important than words at times. Because a thought can stall momentum, because fear, because right now at this moment, my only greatness is a child writing about her depression, writing about the sad, and then letting her words become a song the entire class will sing. Because at times, all I want to be is an eraser. At times, all I want to be is a ceremony, an atom bomb, or something terrible enough to be taken seriously, to be what survives, what grows after the rubble, after the building and rewriting and reworking and working and working and working and still becoming an opening to a hand, a gentle drag, a warmth and sun and glow and glow and shimmer and glow. That's my poem. Those are poems. That's a poem. That's my poem. Thanks, y'all. I don't get to yell these at people enough. So this is good. This is nice. You know what's crazy is, so I work with an organization called Street Poets, and like we're always like teaching poetry online and like sessions like this. And usually it's like everybody's got their screen turned off and it's just me talking to myself. I don't get to see nobody clap or anything. I don't know what to do after my poems. I just do like the robot in my head, or I don't know. But God bless y'all for having your cameras on. I mean, these kids, I'll be like, look, just write how you feel. If your feeling was a color, just put any color in the chat. And I'll be like, today the question is colors that rhyme with purple. Just write any color that rhymes with purple. And they just ... nothing. Anyways, this is so dope. Such an honor, such a cool thing. I think will I get a chance to do maybe like 2 more brief poems or just 1 more?
Yes, absolutely. What is your energy feeling? What are you
I'm feeling good. I also had 2 cups of coffee, so I'm bouncing off the walls, y'all.
Right. We actually did have a little technical difficulty to start. So we got started maybe 5 to 7 minutes after. So go for it.
Shouts out to technical difficulty. It's contagious. Okay. So here's another poem. I got to do this cool thing with this poet, Jimmy Santiago Baca. This is a cool guy. You might have heard of him. He's a lot of fun. But we got to do this thing together where we were celebrating International Buffalo Month. And we were talking about the buffaloes. And I'm like a little hood boy from Florida. So, you know what I'm saying? Not a whole lot of buffalo interaction in my life I can pull from in this. But I did actually used to be on tour a lot. I would just get in my car and like drive from like city to city and like hit poetry venues up, or like colleges and just little things. And it was an interesting life. But I was by myself most of the time, and I'm like, you know, a young man in my early 20s, I'm like, man, I'll just sleep at rest stops. I don't need to get a hotel. I'll sleep at a rest stop, wake up, hit a YMCA, make a whole productive thing out of it. You know what I mean? It was only terrible most of the time. But this was cool because at one point I got to actually meet a buffalo. And this is how that poem goes. Want to hear it? Well, here it goes. In 2009, it felt like anything was possible. I was 21 years old, a brown boy with good health and purpose. I wanted to travel the country and share my poetry with anybody that would listen. I spent most of the year alone, driving for hours, more hours than money I would actually make. But this had to be love, right? It had to be the land ancestors I never knew farmed and resourced for shelter. Had to be lessons waiting to be learned. Sometimes in the blackness of night, I would only see stars. No road, no cars, just bright flickering flames. I would imagine the spirits that have watched those same flicker, then fade. I would find myself searching for reasons to slow and still and try to hold tight to the rubber band of time. Most places were rest stops, small communities that felt like home for hours, but something about the information of the land we would be driving across on. Sometimes it would have a faded board that was ignored by drifters through any oasis. Sometimes I felt like that board, something only seen at the corners of your eye, something thriving and inspirational, yet nearly snuffed out. Somewhere between sold out shows and stealing for food, I found a gift shop in the desert of New Mexico. And through the store, though it was beautiful and decorated with stories only that town could tell, there was a large lumbering mass of fur and horns pulling me. At the time, I had never seen a buffalo, only in books or stories or songs about home. But here it was, hulking in front of me like a shadow that I've been chasing since I learned to write my name. It had been standing there, half covered in mud, half waiting for something my life would never teach me. And we met eye to eye as if to say, yo, you finally made it all the way out here, huh? And we just stood there in front of there, looking for something that I'd never know, to face a storm in front of you instead of sheltering, to survive in spite of everything that wanted you extinct. So much of life felt like a dream. Felt like challenging to meet yourself at the end of any road you drove on, like standing strong, covered in mud, and still holding regal in any dignity you can master. It's sad, and it's said that the spirit of these creatures signify abundance, though there are so few left. Signify our prayer, that there are so few left, and to be thankful for a journey you've taken and prepared for your entire life. He didn't care if I was broke. He didn't care if I sold any CDs or books. And at that moment, neither did I. We both just stood there waiting for the next gust of cool, waiting for the sun to set and our ancestors' dreams to twinkle in a humming sky. Pom, 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 pom. Pom, 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 pom.
That sounds like a children's book
Right.
made for young adults.
Me and that buffalo, bro. Tell somebody. Tell the universe.
Buffalo.
So I have one more short one that I'll share with y'all.
Okay.
Get out your face, man. Thank y'all so much. This is so beautiful, and I'm so honored to be able to share this space with so many incredible individuals. Alejandro, you made me want to rap. You made me want to just start. I'm not gonna rap. I'm gonna do some poems. You made me want to rap. You know, rap is just an acronym, rhythm and poetry. It's just poetry.
I think Marcus was freestyling doing that.
Marcus put the glasses on. He ain't playing.
I knew this was going to be a thing. Look, this is everyone. We get right back to you. This is when you sit by a window and you're like, man, my eyes is hurting. I am not being pretentious. I am just trying not to develop a headache.
That's your Lenny Kravitz that you're sort of channeling there, Marcus.
it just benefits you that you look awesome while doing it. I get it. All right. So here's my last little poem. It's about my mama. Some stuff like that. Here it goes. The grateful in me wants to be quiet. It wants to hold my warmth inside like an old cabin. It feels guilty when I speak about my joy. It feels like joy is more precious than food to most. The grateful in me knows people are starving, knows this world could snap at any breaking news announcement. The grateful in me has its arms full, its fingers outstretched, and it's trying to hold everything. It's trying to just keep it together. It's trying to just keep it all together for just long enough, and it won't realize that gratefulness comes from appreciating everything you've already been given. Belly laughs that took your breath away like sprinting. The grateful in me has about 55 pictures of my mother. The grateful in me says, that's more than some. The grateful in me sometimes cries at night, just before the grateful in me closes its eyes, just before all this grateful in me has no thoughts. But its last thought is, where are all the words? Where has her voice gone and laughter? And why is it not a symphony? Why are we not answering to all these silly questions you hide inside all this pretend grateful in me? The grateful in me gets scared and thinks and thinks and awakes to all that its arms can carry. Thank y'all.
Gotta unmute myself. I can't find my unmute button.
You're unmuted.
We can hear you.
You just muted yourself. There we go.
I was like, oh no, I'm muted.
That's
Oh,
the phrase of 2020, by the way.
right. The grateful in me. Oh man, wow. Grateful. I'm grateful for a lot of things these days. Yes, I am grateful. Absolutely. Rounding out our afternoon or our evening, we have definitely gone over time, but that is okay because we are in our element and in our space. And I really appreciate you all taking or thinking of my title, even though I didn't put as much thought into the divine masculinity title. I think it was extremely appropriate and it absolutely worked out. It worked out. It definitely did. I'm going to read this really quickly before we close out and give our thanks. Society would have you believe that men don't have any feelings or show emotions. But in fact, men are as much emotional beings as women. Yes, you even the so-called real man too. The power of the spoken word is healing or detrimental depending on how you use it. So let's lift up the men we love with our words. Here's 9 phrases he loves to hear. I support you. I appreciate you. I want only you. You make me happy. You are handsome. I trust you. I see you. And I am proud of you. So always make sure that you support your men, and men, you support your women.
You need to take
their
those
biggest fan at all times.
take those 9 things you want men love to hear and turn it into a card.
Turn it into a card. Okay.
When you was walking around, you see a brother looking some type of way, you just hand it out to him. I'm telling you, that's just like that's a soul nugget that'll make a brother like. Sometimes we need hugs and can't physically take one because we so fragmented in the spirit, we don't even know how to receive it. But if you walk up to a brother who got that energy on him and you just hand him that card, you're gonna change the trajectory of his day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree.
And I want to know what's in Matthew's bowl. What, you know what I'm saying? What's the power cereal you eating? Is that Apple Jacks? Is that Smacks? Is that Honeycombs? Is you OG with the Cocoa Krispies? What you doing there?
Clam chowder, you feel me?
Oh, that's my favorite.
You would have never got it.
Who powers up with a clam chowder? Wow.
I'm like Goku. I gotta eat after a battle, you know?
Again, I want to thank the Museo. Thank you, Ms. Carol. Thank you, Burkinda. Orange County Heritage Council. Thank you, Melanie and Shedrick, for giving me this connection to the platform of the Museo. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you all. For the creatives on the panel today, Marcus Omari, Alejandro Perez Jr., Matthew Cuban Hernandez, and Mr. Mike Sonksen. Thank you guys so much. I am very grateful for you. As Matthew so kindly placed it, grateful, always grateful, always grateful. So thank you for participating. Thank you to my audience, to all the people that are logged on to support us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't thank you enough. Does anybody have anything to add or would like to say, or you and no shades?
Y'all want me with a migraine for the rest of the day? I gotta do grades after this. I'm gonna be grading.
No,
be
I
grading with
think
these
your
folks.
students would appreciate you not having a migraine when you got to do
F.
right.
No.
Dude, listen, is this thing still recording? Let me not talk about their grades.
Yes, it's still recording.
Let's not do that.
Y'all almost got me. Y'all almost got me loose.
Well, I'm just going to add 3 things from Natalie's list. I am grateful for all 5 of you. And
Thank
to
you.
you men, I appreciate you and I heard you.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that. Before we close, and who is that little darling?
My grandson, Atorian.
Before we close, let me remind you that the links for Natalie Elaine and all the poets are posted on our Museo website, www.museo.org. And there will be a follow-up evaluation sent out as well. We would love to know that the programs that we're offering like this are relevant and resonate with our community. And you will also see a donate to the Museo button if you so choose. We're always grateful for financial as well as community support. Special thank you, as Natalie said, to Berkenda in the background. She works her magic. And yes, we had a few little technical things happening, but you know, everybody's on Facebook or on Facebook Lives or Zooms. And so sometimes things run a little bit slower than we might like. But she's amazing. And I so appreciate her behind the scenes work. Thanks to Mike Sonksen, Matthew Cuban Hernandez, Alejandro Perez Jr, Marcus Omari, and without an absolute doubt, Natalie Elaine. You have helped us navigate some of the nuances of written and the spoken word and expression through your beautiful, powerful, resonating poetry. And I am so grateful for
Thank you.
this new experience. So thank you. I hope you, the audience, have enjoyed this presentation. We do it because we want to make sure that we're staying connected with our audience and our community. So thank you so very much. I know there's so many other things you could be doing on a Sunday afternoon, and so you're taking an hour and a half to join us this afternoon. We really appreciate it. So until the next time, on behalf of the Museo, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next time. Bye now.
Bye.